Hi, I'm Dr. Ron Miller, owner of Pursuit Physiotherapy and also the owner of cashbasedphysicaltherapy.org. And today we're going to go over some questions. Richie is a third-year doctoral student in physiotherapy school right now, and we're going to go over some questions that I've been getting asked regarding a cash-based physiotherapy practice, what it takes to thrive with one, what's the necessary steps. So Richie and I are going to go over some questions that I've been getting so we can provide answers to them and get some physiotherapists thinking in the right direction on whether they're going to pursue a cash-based physiotherapy practice or whether to go into private practice in general. So Richie, you can get started with the questions.
So to start off, what caused you to want to open a cash-based practice?
So the main question is this, the ability to predict trends in business is a huge value. My question is, what's going to happen in healthcare? So a lot of changes are going to occur with healthcare reform. And then the question is, where does physiotherapy sit in this new vision of healthcare? So I believe, and this is just my opinion, it's going to be very hard to have a private physiotherapy practice using the insurance model. So I created a cash-based physical therapy practice the day that I realized that I couldn't help my patients the way that they were, kind of the way that I wanted them to. I could have still helped patients get better, quicker, faster when I was being double and triple booked. I remember my old boss trying to tell me that I was averaging 2.5 units a visit and getting patients better. And they were trying to tell me that I have to charge 4 units a visit. So at that point, I had to think of a new model and a new way of doing things. And with the current trends in healthcare, with Medicare going bankrupt, Medicare is a broken system. So why would anyone go into Medicare or that type of business? There's a reason why Shark Tank doesn't invest in any healthcare business, because the healthcare is a horrible business model. Reimbursement keeps on getting less and less. Insurance companies aren't valuing physiotherapy. So they're paying us less and less for visits, for treatment interventions, etc. So it's going to be very hard to sustain an insurance-based outpatient physiotherapy clinic. So then you start thinking there has to be better ways of doing things. There has to be ways of a new model of doing things to be able to thrive with this. And the number one thing is you have to be able to create value. I use the term value innovation. Innovation meaning a new model, a new system, a better way of doing things that's cheaper, faster, better. Value meaning someone else perceives value in your service. If someone's in pain and you can get them better in fewer visits at a cheaper cost, there's value in that. So I like to use the term value innovation. And I think in physiotherapy, I believe that we can create value in healthcare. I believe in physiotherapy. I mean, how much more research needs to be shown that we add value to healthcare? We can help people short-term and long-term outcomes at a cheaper rate. So there's no doubt that physiotherapy can provide value in healthcare. Now, how are we going to capitalize that? So I believe that the answer is going to be a cash-based physiotherapy model. In the future, as insurance goes less and less, I believe that outpatient physiotherapy will thrive in a physiotherapy outpatient cash-based setting. So I learned from it, and I decided, I got fed up with standard care and decided to open up my own business, and I designed that cash-based physiotherapy model.
So kind of going off that, where do you think that healthcare and physical therapy, for that matter, are going in the future?
Well, there's two major things. One, ACO groups are going to gobble up all these practices, and you're going to have these huge groups of all disciplines of healthcare: physicians, anesthesiologists, physiotherapists, everything. And either the physician's going to own the group, the insurance company's going to own the group, or the hospital's going to own the group. And then that's going to leave, where's private practice going to be? And then second, where's physiotherapy going to be on that model? So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to, again, private practice in the future. Not just physical therapy, but healthcare in general. What's going to happen to physicians who are in private practice? What's going to happen to chiropractors and stuff like that? Now, chiropractors are trained a lot in business, so they have strategies and processes to learn what to do and thrive in a private practice setting. But what's going to happen to the physical therapy clinic? What's going to happen to physician clinics? Physicians are already being bought out and joining the ACO group because they don't want to deal with the business side of things. So PT, it's going to be interesting. Right now you're currently in an oversaturated marketplace that has lots of competition. Not just physical therapy competition, but everyone in healthcare competition. Chiropractors, physicians, acupuncturists, everyone. And where's physical therapy going to fit in that model? I believe it's going to fit in the bottom of the totem pole in the ACO model, and you're going to be left with whatever money is left over in the full payment sum, because we're not going to have reimbursement per services anymore. It's going to be like a standard bulk. So say, for example, if someone's going in for a total hip replacement, they're going to the ACO group, they're going to give the group $20,000 for this procedure. I hope they have some reasoning or evidence behind that amount, but that whole check is going to go to the whole group, and it's going to get divided into everyone. And then physical therapy is going to be left with the leftovers with that. So you'll have a total hip patient that you'll have $1,000 left, and you got to get them better. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to the future of healthcare, the future of physical therapy. But the most important thing is, do you have value? Do you add value to healthcare? If you do add value and you're an expert clinician, you can survive. So that's where I foresee healthcare and PT going towards that ACO model and just a bulk sum for payment.
What did you do personally in preparation to open up your own cash-based clinic?
Well, the number one thing is I started reading books. I started learning how to think like an entrepreneur. I started learning how to have that business mindset. Everyone always talks about that business mindset. And you truly need that, because whether PTs know this or not, if you're going to open a cash-based physical therapy practice, you're not only a therapist anymore. You're a small business owner. You're an entrepreneur, and you got to start thinking like that. And I use the example of a hardship. With this, when you open a business and you present with a hardship, do you kind of back away from it and have fear, or do you view that hardship or that failure as a learning experience? And you learn from it, you adapt, and you grow, and you go past that and keep moving forward toward your goal of opening a private practice. Because that first year is hard. You're going to run into a lot of hardships. There's a reason why only 90% of small businesses actually make it. It's hard. So that business mindset and reading some books about personal growth really help you to get in that mindset of how to approach a failure, how to overcome obstacles. The second thing is I started reading books about business and marketing. As a small business owner, you need to learn how to sell your product. In business, if you don't have sales, you don't have a business. So us as physical therapists in a cash-based model, you need to learn how to sell physical therapy. You need to learn how to sell your service. And that's essential. You're going to have to learn that, because you're going to end up running into things of, why is no one calling? I get someone on the phone, but they get turned away because I don't accept insurance. So you need to learn strategies and processes to overcome all these obstacles. You need to learn how to run a business. You need to learn how to market. Not only market, but just market effectively, specific for physical therapy, and proven marketing that works. That's cheap and cost effective. The third thing that I did was I started surrounding myself with successful people, entrepreneurs, even outside of healthcare. When I met someone who was successful, I'd take them out to lunch, and I start interviewing them, and I'd learn from them, ask them questions, other books to read, kind of courses to take, and learn how to open a small business. Any successful entrepreneur or businessman will always be willing to help you because they were in your shoes a couple years ago. So don't be scared to ask people to take them out to lunch or to ask them questions. They'll make time because they know the pain that you're going through and how hard it is, and they want to see you succeed too, because whether you know it or not, they were in the same shoes a couple years ago. So they're always willing to help you out. So start reading books, get in that business mindset, interview other successful people, start learning from other successful people, entrepreneurs or businessmen and women. That's the main thing of what I did. Now, on the physical therapy side of things, I wanted to get good quick. So I did a residency. I worked for a year, then did a residency, mastered my craft, got my 10,000 hours of experience in to become an expert. And then I knew that I was a good therapist, that I could help people better than the standard. So on the physical therapy side of things, I did a residency, got good quick, got my OCS, which makes you a lot more marketable. If you were a patient and you had options between A, B, and C, and this is just average therapist, this is a doctorate therapist, or this is the doctor of physical therapy who's board certified in orthopedics, whose residency is trained, who do you choose? So you got to make yourself be the expert. So physical therapy side of things, what I did the residency, I got good quick, got expert manual training, and I grew from there, from a physical therapy side of things.
So kind of going off that, what would you say are some of the hardest things about being a small business owner in the cash-based setting?
Some of the hardest things about being a small business owner is when you start a business, you're super excited, you're happy, the excitement level's high, you're ready to get started. The hardest thing is the hardships when you're first starting out. That is the hardest part, because it goes back to that failure and being scared to fail. It's okay to fail. Failure's inevitable most of the times. You're gonna fail with certain things. You're gonna try marketing strategies, you're gonna fail. No one called. But you gotta learn from that and keep going towards your passion or your goal of owning a cash-based clinic. So learning business strategies and not being scared to fail was one thing. And then for every practice, it's always patience. How do you get new patients? But I kind of put that into marketing. Your marketing strategies have to be specific for physical therapy for your ideal patient, and you need to learn proven and effective marketing strategies. Those are probably the two hardest things. And again, learning how to run a business in general was new for us, because we don't really get that training in school, and there's not a lot of courses or things out there that teach you how to run a business, especially a cash-based clinic. Yeah. This is a new model, a new idea, a new concept. So when someone opens a cash-based clinic, you're almost a proof of concept business. You're not opening a kind of a business and overset your marketplace. My idea is, why would you ever open a business in an oversaturated marketplace with declining reimbursement, with lots of competition? So Elon Musk says it best, that your service or product needs to be superior to your competition. If you're going to open a business in an oversaturated market with lots of competition, you can't just be the same. You can't be just good. You have to be far superior than your competition. And that's what's going to let you thrive. On a whole nother note is, why jump into a red ocean of all that competition with a limited market space? Think creative, think innovative, and create a new market space with untapped potential, with no competition. That's the key. So learning how to do that in a healthcare oversaturated marketplace, and expand into a new marketplace with no competition, do something new and innovative, and still help people with physical therapy. That's the key with my programs, and that's why I designed Business 101 and Marketing 101. Now, if any other therapist wants to do exactly what I'm doing, or wants to open a cash-based clinic, they'll have the tools to be able to thrive in a private practice. It's easy to open up a business. Anyone can open up a business. Can you open a successful business? That's the key. So what I wanted to do was, now you have the blueprint of what I've done on the business side of things and the marketing side of things. And now you'll have access to that, and I can help other PTs thrive in a cash-based setting, because I truly believe in physiotherapy. We can add great value to healthcare, and I believe in physiotherapy. It's just a matter of, we got to get things done, educate the public, learn how to run a business, and we'll be able to thrive in healthcare reform. Because otherwise, we may run into some serious problems if we don't adapt and create serious value in healthcare. We're going to run into some problems as a profession. And that's why I believe that physiotherapy in a cash-based setting is going to thrive in the future, and a lot in outpatient and private practice. I think it's going to be the answer to a lot of problems.
Do you think that a new grad can open up a cash-based clinic?
Yes. You have to learn how to market and run a business. What I would recommend a new grad to do is to do a residency or fellowship first. I'm not saying that it can't be done. I think a new grad could open up a cash-based clinic if you learned how to market. I mean, geez, what was that thing on Shark Tank, the Scrub Daddy? It's just a sponge with a smiley face. There's a million sponges out there. Everyone washes their dishes with different types of sponges. He just created one with a smiley face on it, and he's a millionaire. There's nothing new and innovative about that. Yeah, it's some different type of sponge stuff. It's just a smiley face. He's a millionaire. He's doing great right now. So a new therapist coming into the healthcare world as an entry-level therapist, if they learn how to market and target a niche market, yeah, I think a new grad could. What I would recommend is that the new grad to do a residency and get good quick, residency or fellowship, kind of master your craft, learn a lot over that next year or two, maybe get board certified because you're more marketable. I would recommend to do that, and then after the residency, open up a cash-based clinic. Because whether you realize it or not, you need to be able to solve complex cases, because there's a whole market for that. There's so many patients that come into my clinic that have failed physiotherapy, failed physician, failed acupuncture, failed chiropractic, failed PT twice sometimes. And if you solve the problem in those complex cases, you can still help people. So there's a whole untapped market for that. So I would recommend a new grad to do a residency or a fellowship and then pursue a cash-based clinic. But it can be done by a new grad if they knew how to run a business.
Why did you start cashbasedphysicaltherapy.org?
I started because now I can help other PTs do exactly what I do. There's been a lot of people trying to call me and ask me about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I'm like, well, geez, why don't I just create a system where other PTs can go online and do my video-based training and learn. So now any physiotherapist, this is only for physiotherapists. I'm not selling it to physicians or chiropractors. I believe in physiotherapy. We just need to learn how to run a business and how to create value in healthcare. I have no doubt that physiotherapy can help people show short-term and long-term outcomes. It's just, how are we going to do that in the outpatient setting? So now, if any physiotherapist wants an opportunity to open up a clinic, they will have my blueprint of Business 101 and Marketing 101 to be able to go from startup to fully plateaued with one clinician. It's all going to determine on the PT's effort onto how far they actually grow beyond that. It's going to come down to work ethic and how much time and work that they put into it. But if anyone wants to open up a cash-based clinic, they have my blueprint now of my 101 series. If someone has bigger goals and aspirations of being having a team, kind of like I want, or multi-site clinics, then when they're ready, they can apply for the local domination and growth package. If they have a bigger vision and they want to have other therapists work along with them, They'll know exactly what to do from there. We'll take it up to the next level, learn how to maximize superior customer service, take it to that next level, learn how to dominate the local market, having patients asking for your services and stuff. So there's even another level beyond that. But at first, right now, for physiotherapy, I believe, for physiotherapy to survive healthcare reform, we need to learn how to run a business. And I believe that the cash-based model is going to work for physiotherapy. So now if anyone wants to do it, they have the blueprint of what to do, exactly what I did to go from startup to generating over $10,000 of revenue a month. And they'll have full access to it. And I kind of look at it as an investment. And this is going back to that PT mindset. Many people will go to my website and be like, oh, $1,500 is too much money. That's exactly that fear of going outside of your comfort zone. You're not doing or not willing to do what it takes to be successful. You can't be scared of that amount of money to attain your goal. If you're going into a business and you're not willing to invest $1,500, you're not ready for business, because you have to think of it totally different. Not just, oh, that's too much money, I'm not doing it, I'm just going to do my own route. You got to think of it as, well, if I invest this $1,500, but I generate $10,000 of profit in 1 to 2 years, that's a great investment. That's how you have to look at things. If you're going to do a marketing strategy and spend $2,000, don't look at, oh, that's too much money, I can't spend that. If it's proven and effective to work and you know that you'll get $4,000 back from it, it's still worth investing that money. So you got to have that business mindset. You got to look at it as not an expense. You look at it as, I'm going to invest this money into this program. It's going to teach me what to do, and I'll generate $10,000 of profit. That's my goal for anyone using my 101 system, to invest the money that it costs to get this 101 package, and then to be able to generate over $10,000 of profit by year one or two. So that answers that one.
So how does your cash-based system work?
So at first, if someone's interested in going and opening a cash-based practice, they can go to the website cashbasedphysiotherapy.org and they can get a free checklist. I think there's 15 or 16 things that you can do there and to set you up on how to start up a clinic. And again, it's easy to open up a business. Anyone can open up a business. Can you grow and run a thriving business, especially in a cash-based model? That's the key. So after they complete everything on the checklist to start up a business, when they're ready to grow their practice or to run their business or learn how to market, then you can purchase the Business 101 and Marketing 101 series. And I think there's maybe 18 courses in each one. Everything that I've done from year 1 to year 2 to 3, and where I plateaued and I was fully booked, I was overworked, and I was generating over $10,000 of revenue a month. Okay, that's the goal of the 101 series. And then if they have bigger dreams and passions to open up a second clinic or to have a team of therapists with them, then they can look into that local domination and growth package. And that's just going to take it to another level of where I'm at now, where you have multiple clinicians, you have a massage therapist on staff, you have multiple therapists, and then you can expand into other locations. So the first setup is to get the checklist done, purchase the 101 system, and from startup to plateauing as a single clinician. And another thing is, I don't want people buying my system and competing against each other. So I'm only going to sell my 101 system to 2 therapists per location. So when someone locks in that slot, then it's going to be full, and I'm not going to sell it to someone else in a metropolitan area and stuff like that. So there is a little bit of urgency with that. So if someone's willing or wanting to open a clinic around the city, there's going to be 2 slots available. So, or 2 locations per area. So I don't want people taking my system and working against each other. So certain cities may be able to do 3, like a bigger city, but most times I'm going to limit it to only 2 per per physiotherapist per city.
All right, I think that's just about all the questions I have for you right now.
Perfect. So what I wanted to do with this, I wanted Richie to be able to ask some questions, and I could provide answers of what really is my cash-based physiotherapy system, what it takes to get some other PTs in the right mindset. I'm super excited about this because I believe in physiotherapy. I believe this is how we're going to thrive in healthcare reform. And this is what's going to set us apart against our competition. So if you're interested in opening a cash-based clinic, you can email me. You can download the free checklist right now. You can look over Business 101 and Marketing 101 and get your things started on that step-by-step process to open up a cash-based clinic. And again, not just open up a business, but open up a thriving business. So we need to learn how to run a business. We need to learn how to market. We need to learn how to overcome healthcare reform. So if you have any questions, you can send me an email. For more information, you can always go to cashbasedphysiotherapy.org. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that you find this informative. Thanks.